Hi. I wanted to make a video to try and help me find out my MBTI type because I've been into this system for quite a while, and there's still some parts of my type that confuse me. Like, I have my suspicions on what types work for me, but, I feel like for me, I also might kind of be, biased in some way. Like, I would want to veer myself towards a certain type when I'm really a different other type. So I feel like with a video, it's easier to like hide your bias. No, with a video, it's like when you have your bias, it shows. That's what I meant. Like when you have your bias, like it really shows. Like you can kind of tell that you're trying to be one type, but you're not actually that type. So I'm just gonna answer a few of these questions, and we'll see like what my type is. Thanks. So, what? Let me get this configure it. Okay. What makes you respect individuals, groups, or organizations? List whatever you can think of. All right. What makes me respect like an organization is when they can think of something besides like the bottom line, like money. Like a lot of corporations nowadays, all they want is like money, 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 and I feel like organizations who do something to like better the world outside of like their main goals, like I just really appreciate that. Like organizations, especially organizations that help in situations where like it's dire that like other people need help. Like for example, like the Flint water crisis that's happening right now. Like I'm really surprised that there aren't more organizations helping with that because like it seems like such a dire situation that people would need help for, but just major organizations aren't doing anything. And if anybody who's doing anything into the Flint to help like Flint, because I haven't read like all that much about it, but like anybody who's trying right now, I like immensely respect. What makes me respect? Now, what makes me respect an individual is different. Like I think I respect individuals when like they do something. Also, like from when they do something outside of themselves, but also another thing that makes me respect individuals is like when they follow their true like own unique vision. Like if they don't back down easy and they like know what they want and will do like anything to go for it. I respect those types of people so much because like I usually like kind of have some issues with this kind of stuff. Like I can sometimes be a little bit of a pushover, but I respect people who like try to follow their own vision and follow like what is good in their heart the most. Is there anything else I can say that lets me know if I respect an individual? I also like people who are like not closed-minded, open to new things. So I guess I can kind of go into the second question, where it's like, what kind of things turn you off about a person? Like when a person, first off, is like super duper duper self-centered, like they can't think about outside of themselves. And also when a person like is really closed-minded, really judgmental, like all they care about is just like what they know. They're not willing to try anything new. They're like really mean-spirited for no reason all the time. Like the stereotypical person who's like the really edgy person, who like just hates everything. I hate those types of people so much because yeah, the world has a lot of terrible stuff going on, but I feel like to counter that, you gotta like appreciate the good things that are there. And you gotta like be willing to like go out of your comfort zone. What also gets under my skin about a person is like when they try to control what I do. Like I really hate um, being forced to do something with somebody. Like if somebody just tells me like all the time, like especially with my major life decisions, like let me figure it out for myself, even if I come to the same conclusion as you. Like I just want to figure it out for me only, because like everybody has their own way of viewing things, and sometimes people what they like to do is like try and make sure that everybody thinks the same way as them, and like it just won't happen. Everybody has their own unique perspective, and everybody's perspective, unless they're like somebody crazy like a Nazi or something, everybody's perspective is at least worth a shot. And then if their perspective is clearly like out of touch, you know, and like really like messed up, then instead of just completely dismissing that person first, I think what people should try and do is like educate them. This is my thoughts. The next thing, how good is your memory for detail? Specific conversations you've had in the past, little tasks that need to get done. What were you doing the first time you heard a song or tried a food? My memory for detail is kind of all over the place. Like, I remember important, like memories, like moments that are important to me. But it's like just those moments, and like even then with the moments, it's not like some photorealistic thing where I can remember exactly what everyone said. Like obviously, if something really, really impactful was said, then I like remember that. But usually, I just remember like the feeling the different moments give me. And like as far as specific conversations, I can remember the feeling a conversation gave me, but I won't remember like a quote like, "Oh, this guy said this." And then also, oftentimes with specific conversations, that depends too. Like if it's somebody that I care about, or somebody who is like shocking to me or something, then I'll remember it. But like little conversations I had like day to day that don't matter that much, really do not remember those that well. Little tasks that need to get done. That's funny. I am really forgetful with that kind of stuff. Like, my place, like my room is a mess constantly. Like, you know, little tasks like, oh, you need to take out the garbage, you need to do the dishes. I forget to do those constantly. I misplace things all the time. And sometimes I even forget like important dates. I feel really bad about that, but it just happens. My brain is like kind of all over the place a lot. Like I'll be really into something one day, and then the next day I'll be like, wait, what? What was I doing? And like, yeah, it's bad. And then, do I ever remember what I was doing like the first time I heard a song or tried food? Not really. I mean, yeah, I don't remember if the first place where I tried food at all. And then the first place I heard a song, I'll usually remember that if a song like means a lot to me. I'm really into music, so like when there's like an album that I really really want to listen to, I try to either make sure I'm with a friend or like my brother, or like just by myself to really get like the feeling of the music. So like unless the first time I heard a song was an important or memorable night, then I probably won't remember it. Or if the song, like, I don't know, made me cry or something. So next question. What do you spend the most time thinking about? The past, the present, and the future? I'd say I only think about the past when I'm like feeling sad or depressed. Because I have like a tendency when I get in like a mood like that to like just like ruminate over like a lot of the bad things I've done, and usually like I don't associate the past with good memories. Like no, like when I think of the past, I kind of just I kind of feel like I want to get past it. Like, I'm really into like self growth and like improving on yourself, and that requires to like get past the past and get past the things that bug you down. So sometimes I get nostalgic when I like look at pictures of me from when I was like little kid or something like that. Sometimes I think some parts of the past are interesting, like when you want to see what it was like before you got there, like before I was born. Like reading a little bit about what the world was like, but I don't really read about the past that much. Like, I'm good at history classes too. Sometimes I think history is interesting, but then again, history is about the past. But like at the same time, history can also be kind of like a new thing too. As for me, like I'm 18, so I don't really like have that much experience. So reading about the past can almost not be like something that already happened to me. It can be like something new. But it's like the past in my life, I don't really think about it that much. I think more about the present and the future. Mostly like the future actually, because like the present moment, like yeah, I can think about like, oh, what am I gonna do this week? What am I gonna like? Just in general, like, am I gonna do this? Or am I gonna do that? But then with the future too, I don't really have like specific things I think about with the future. I just think about like what could happen, like uh, what like the different possibilities that could happen to me. Like, I'm having trouble explaining this. I'm gonna use like a scenario that pops up in my head often. Like, I'm gonna go to college soon, right? So like a lot of the time, I'll just spend my time thinking like, oh, if I take these certain paths during college, uh, how is my life gonna end up like? And then like, what kind of environment do I want to live in after I go to college? Or like, just different things like that. I also think about like where the future of humanity is heading. And usually with the future, I see good possibilities, but sometimes the future can be like, it seem really bleak to me. Like if it's been like a particularly bad day, or like I see a lot of bad things happening like in the media and news and all that stuff, like the future can seem kind of bleak to me because like it seems like people are like it goes back to the thing I was talking about judging. Like people are just way too judgy and unwilling to think outside of themselves and like unwilling to try new things. That I just kind of feel like we might not get along ever. But other times when I think of the future, I'm like, all right, we're gonna figure this out. It's like we've got to. I think like, oh man, I'm gonna live like an exciting life. I'm gonna live in a place that has like a culture. I'm gonna like make a difference in people's lives. I'm gonna live my life to the fullest. I want to like travel a lot. I think of different places to travel. I actually like have a kind of a hobby of like looking at different places on Google Maps that I would like to visit, whether it's in like America or like Canada, or like I like visiting like looking at Japan a lot too. Japan looks really cool. Um, I also think about like my relationships with people, like which people, since I'm kind of in like a weird stage of my life where like um I'm done with high school, but like I'm about to go to college. Like I think of which people are with me right now that like next summer or the summer after that I would still talk to, or like different things that I would want to try to like get to know more people. Um, and also I like thinking about things too, like what. So when I was talking about like with people like being so um non open minded and judgy, like what drives people to think like that, and is it like in human nature to think about it? And then I can think of like different scenarios where that like applied to people too. Let me see some more parts of this question that I didn't answer. When you daydream or fantasize, what kinds of things do you imagine and think about? This is what I was talking about earlier with like social issues, like society. So, and then also like I kind of like just imagining a good future because like I feel like it's like one of the things that keeps me going. Let me get into the next question. I don't want this to go too long. Think about a topic or two you're really interested in and like having conversations about. Do you think you would have more fun talking about that with an enthusiastic, curious listener who asks you lots of great questions? Or would you have more fun listening to an interesting or entertaining person talk at length about it and answer your questions enthusiastically? It depends, really. Like, sometimes I'll be, like, really kind of, a bubbly person, or, like, a really, like, silly, joking around type guy. But, other times, like, I can be really, really quiet, and I can be, like, really, shy when I first meet people. So it depends on how comfortable I am with the person, and if I have anything interesting to say. Like, if it's about something like, I don't know what I was talking about earlier, like, traveling, that really interests me, or, like, music. Music is, like, the best hobby. I love music so much. And I feel like with music and that kind of stuff, and, like, traveling, and, like, psychology too, is really interesting to me, and things like that. I like kind of having, like, a balanced conversation. Like, sometimes I want to have a lot to say, but then I want to give the person, like, an equal amount of room, because, like, I know how it feels like to feel like you're talking at somebody instead of talking with them. And that's, like, one of the worst feelings in the world. So, I don't want to, like, put that on other people, although sometimes I have a tendency to, like, ramble on, which I kind of feel like I'm doing right now, but, you know, it's whatever, it's part of the technique video. So, if that helps figure out my type, let's go ahead. But if, like, I'm not comfortable with the person, and I'm, like, trying to first get to know, like, their vibe, then I would want them to, tell me, like, stuff. Like, I would be, like, the question asker then. Number 6, what topics do you think about? I feel like I've talked about topics I like talking about already. Number 7. If somebody is... Hold on, let me see how many questions I have left. Okay, I gotta get this in like under 20 minutes because I made another video and that was like 37 minutes didn't upload. So, if somebody's doing something that you strongly disagree with, how likely are you to confront them about it? If you do confront them, how do you usually attend to it? Does your answer change depending on the relationship with the person and whether your actions directly affect you? This is a kind of area that I have conflicted feelings on. Like, if somebody's doing something that I strongly disagree with, like, you know, I haven't encountered too many situations where, like, somebody is being incredibly, like, you know, if somebody was being, like, violent or, like, doing something, like, unfair. I usually try to confront them if possible, but, like, other times too, like, I really hate losing people. It's like, it would be, like, not in a mean way necessarily, just more like a, hey, I love you, but, like, what's up with what you're doing right now? Like, kind of in a way to, like, help them recognize what they did wrong, and they know they're doing it wrong, and they're still not, like, changing their minds. Then, I usually just, like, try to stay away from the person, because they're just not willing to change, and it's clear that they don't really value me, they don't, like, take my input seriously. If I'm more likely to confront people if I'm really close to them, because then I'll feel comfortable, like, knowing, like, that they will, be willing to see, just, like, what I'm, like, they'll be more willing to listen. But then if it's somebody that I'm not close to, unless it's something really horrible, like they're being violent to somebody else that I don't know, or something like that, then I kind of just try to, like, if somebody's just being rude or something like that, I usually just try to ignore it and let it slide. Well, no, I don't let it slide, but like I try to like avoid that person and then just ignore them, because if I don't have like a close relationship with them, unless they're doing something really important too, like if they're in a position of power, then I feel like I have to say something because they're impacting lots and lots and lots of people. But if it's somebody who's just like, just another guy, then I'll usually make like a quip about it to somebody else, but just ignore it. I don't want this thing to go on too long. Let me try and answer one more question, because I feel like you've answered a bunch of these other questions in mad answers. How do other people describe your demeanor? People describe me as the people who don't know me that well describe me as kind of reserved. But then, like, the people who do know me well know that I can turn into, like, a chatterbox and, like, I ramble all the time. Like, I just go on and 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 on about certain things. And I usually have, like, a silly, fun demeanor who, people say I'm really smart too, but I actually think that I'm kind of stupid. Because, like, I'm more, like, book smart than street smart, and street smart is kind of, like, really important. I'm a little awkward too in certain situations. Like, I can make, like, awkward jokes, or jokes that can seem, like, kind of edgy, or sometimes, like, my attempts at being humorous, because I like either really absurd or stupid humor, or, like, completely dry humor. And I feel like sometimes my attempts can fall flat, but usually I love, like, making jokes and all that stuff. Because to me, it's not even, like, that I'm actively thinking, okay, gotta make jokes, gotta make jokes, gotta make jokes. It's just, like, things just come in my head that I have to say. How emotional do you seem to people? On the outside, I think I can come across as slightly emotional, but I can't come across as rational too. But, like, a lot of the time I'll end up doing things that don't really make, like, any sense. So I'd say I'm more of an emotional person than a rational person. And do I interrupt people? I try to let them speak, unless I'm really passionate about the topic. Then I feel like I have something to say right away. If I need to correct somebody, then, like, I'll just jump right in. But other times I just try to let people, and just say what they're gonna say. It's good to give people, like, their own space. Let's see, do you tend to finish your sentences or skip to the next sentence in one of the middle you're saying, or skip to new topics entirely? Well, as you can probably tell by this video, like, I tend to, like, not really, if I'm in a comfortable situation, I usually, like, don't really overthink my sentences too much. Like, I just kind of, like, say it. And sometimes it can come across as really awkward, because then I'll be like, oh shit, I don't know what I'm gonna say. And then, like, in this right now, like, I'll just be like, and then I can, like, feel like I kind of have a tendency to ramble. How often do you feel like you have so much energy you can't sit still or need to be up and moving? With this, it's kind of like either if I'm having a bad day, like, I'll feel like I cannot do anything, and I just want to, like, lay in bed all the time. But I also, like, deal with depression a lot, so I think that could be the reason why. But then usually, like, on a good day, I feel like I need to, like, do something, at least, like, get out of the house. And then also, that's the thing too for, like, the getting out of bed thing. Like, when I'm depressed, like, I have a hard time getting out of bed. I, like, don't get out of bed until, like, 12 or something like that. Which is probably early to some people, but to me, usually I'm, like, a morning bird. Like, I get up at like 6, 7, 8. Then how likely are you to finish a project that you start? Because I think I'm running out of time, so I'm just gonna get this question out of the way. For me, if the project's important to me, I'll finish it, but like I just completely cannot hold myself to deadlines. Like I always extend the deadlines that I set. Like when I create like a mixtape or something like that, I have a deadline set, then I like push it back because stuff gets in the way. Like I get scrambled onto something else. And for schoolwork too, like I finish it, but I do it all like at the last minute too. I feel like this video might have gone on too long already. If not, hopefully this is good. And thanks for sticking me.